Where do I begin with how I feel about Ring of Honor right now? You guys know I have been covering everything since last year with the pay-per-views, with the weekly shows and the pay-per-views in between there. I have done nothing but even stood up for Ring of Honor. I don't really, I don't even know where to start. There's no show, you know? Like, when it comes to professional wrestling, my favorite part of wrestling is the actual in-ring work. I love to see two more people in the ring giving us amazing matches. I can't expect to see everyone performing like Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, Kazuchika Okada. I can't expect to see things like this every day. And that's okay. Everybody's different. Everybody brings their own thing to professional wrestling. And while I love to see matches, now you come on and you buy Ring of Honor and you put a weekly show. It's no show. You have to have some stories. You have to have a reason for people to come back and want to watch the show. And for me, I sort of feel like, am I just coming back every week out of habit because I've been doing it for so long and covering the shows that maybe I'm not necessarily enjoying the entire show, but I'm thinking about it, I'm like, there's really no show. There's nothing to really tell here. Tonight was the first time in a really long time that I'm watching a wrestling show and I felt like, what am I watching here? For example, the first match of the night was Eddie Kingston and Lee Johnson. Lee Johnson, who probably won one, maybe two matches in Ring of Honor all freaking year long, who's having a Proving Grounds match with Eddie Kingston for the Ring of Honor World Title. Doesn't this bitch, didn't he relinquish the title the other day? Like, I'm just so confused. And I think Tony Khan's confused too. He doesn't realize that these two shows correlate with each other. I don't get it. The match was bad. It wasn't great. And it showed here that there was nothing for Lee Johnson to prove because he's not that great. I'm so sorry to say this. You know, I don't have any boots to lace up to do what you do, but you're not that great. At least not good enough to be in a Proving Grounds match with a champion right now. With the person with the biggest title in the company. And I'm just like, holy shit, we're opening the show with this. This young man is going in the ring with someone like Eddie Kingston. And I'm looking at him hardly being able to stand on his own 2 feet and execute some moves. And I'm just like, what is this? Okay, let me not complain too much about that. Well, that caught me off guard because that was a match that they opened with. I just kept feeling like, all right, you know, I'm just not sure where the entertainment lies, because at some point you're going to get bored seeing match back to back to back to back, no freaking commercials. Like you almost can't even take a deep breath throughout the show because everything is just throw at you, and you can't really sit there and enjoy some good old entertainment. And I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, damn, like, but what am I doing here? You know? Do I love Ring of Honor? Yes, I do. I love what it used to be too, even more. And I understand that Tony Khan purchased this and he's trying maybe to do something different with it. So I'm not expecting for it to be the same Ring of Honor from way back when. But I'm expecting it to be something decent. I'm expecting to see Tony Khan to put the same amount of effort that he does with AEW with Ring of Honor. And instead, it feels like AEW Dark 2.0 right now. If that. There's hardly anything being told. The very best thing about Ring of Honor is Athena. And Athena does open the show talking about, obviously, her disappointment with Billy Starks or whatever. That's part of the storyline. That's not really important. But remember, like 2 weeks ago, I believe, Eddie Kingston cut a promo talking about there's, no real champions in Ring of Honor. They're not holding their weight in Ring of Honor, blah, blah, blah. And Athena puts Eddie Kingston in his fucking place by saying that Ring of Honor is her show. Her back is fucking hurting from carrying this damn show. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, preach, Athena. You actually telling the freaking truth here. Athena is the reason why a lot of people are buying Ring of Honor subscriptions, because they want to see what she's doing. And she's doing phenomenally. Okay? And I constantly, when I put the show on every Thursday, I'm like, what is Athena going to do? That's what you want to say about majority of the people on your show. What is so-and-so going to do? I'm not even concerned about Eddie Kingston at this point. We don't even really know if he's the Ring of Honor champion or not, since he so-called relinquished his title for the AEW Continental Classic. So the title ain't shit. The TV title, there's supposed to be a tournament with that. When is that going to start? I have no idea. But Final Battle pay-per-view is 2 weeks away. And they're supposed to have a series of matches to determine the last 6 people who's going to be in that survival of the fittest match at Final Battle pay-per-view for the TV title. And there's no person in sight that we can see who would be getting that at this point. Ethan Page every week coming out cutting the same fucking promo. He's about to have a 3rd match with Tony Nese. I don't want to see that shit. I don't even want to see it on the pay-per-view. You know, I understand I got a storyline thing going on, but how many times does it feel like I'm seeing the very same thing every week? You know, how fun can that be for someone to sit there and feel like, that happened last week. That literally happened last week. It's so annoying. Like, you know, sometimes I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I'm going to be at the Final Battle pay-per-view. Tony Khan obviously got those weak-ass security guards. What can they do to back little old me? Those little weak security guards they got over there. I can go back there and say, hey, Tony Khan, let me have a word with you and tell you what it is that you're doing wrong. And I really am a firm believer in, if you're selling something to your audience is going to be the one to tell you when you're doing something wrong. And even if you feel like you're not doing something wrong, they're the ones who's still buying this shit. Somebody like me who's buying this. I'm coming on camera every week talking about your shows. So you want to talk to somebody like me in terms of what's going on with Ring of Honor. And at this point, I really can't say I really enjoy the shows anymore. There are certain things that I do like here and there every episode, and I see the potential, but they're not giving it their all when it comes to Ring of Honor. They're giving almost everything to AEW, and when I say almost, I'm using that word very loosely. I love AEW. I love what Tony Khan has. It's just that what it seems like to me is that he has all the right tools, and he's not using those tools to make Ring of Honor, AEW, a better product. I was watching, what's his name? Dutch earlier. I watch Dutch every single day. And they were talking about an interview that Tully Blanchard had. And how while he was there, people were not asking him for advice. These young cats not asking for advice to be better. Tony Khan, were you not asking Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson for advice? Were you not asking these legends to come through and say, hey man, I got this promotion here. I'm trying to make it something. I need some fucking help. No, you weren't. And how could you have the 4 horsemen there? You got 2 members right there in your fucking house, and nobody's asking these men questions on success. If anybody knows success, it's 2 of the guys in probably the most iconic faction in professional wrestling. And that's really sad to say that these 2 men felt undervalued part of AEW, and you wonder why these 2 guys are gone. Insane. You know, I don't want to make this a whole black lady rant, but I'm just saying, when you put in your time and money into something, I literally put one of my clients on hold to get that Ring of Honor ticket. Tried to get front row, but it didn't happen. I got 3rd row, and that's cool. I'm still going to go to the show. I'm still going to enjoy it because I love professional wrestling. And let me say this before I just quickly skim through the results and talk about the most important storyline in this whole thing, which is with Athena, because we got some developments with that. I'm a firm believer in, if you don't care about something, you don't even address it. And the reason why I'm addressing it is because I care about it. You know, I could just shut up and say nothing, like how I did with WWE. I don't cover them because I don't care too much, but I see potential in what Tony Khan has, and I'm like, damn, man, you got everything right there. Sometimes I think he has the best roster in professional wrestling, but he's not using them to the fullest potential. He got all these legends and all these people with experience back there, but all I keep hearing Tony Khan say is, I'm the CEO. The decision is mine to make. Where's that getting you, bro? Where is that getting you? You know? And that's why I'm sitting here talking about it, because I care. Now, I don't have experience working for a wrestling company or anything, but so doesn't Tony Khan. His daddy had some money to help him make certain things happen. He had the connections with certain wrestlers to make AEW happen. So someone like me can't walk through the doors and be like, this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't be doing. Haven't I not been watching this show since the very beginning? So I see the flaws and I see what's working, and it's not that much. And I'm not going to blame it on the wrestlers. Some of these guys just don't have the right things that they need to be able to flourish in this business. People like Lee Johnson, who definitely need more help in the ring. But Tony Khan, we need more. And for those who care and come on camera or talk to their friends and families about the show and how much the show can be better, those are the people who care. Not the people who's on Twitter talking shit about the shows. They don't care. They don't care. They just want to talk shit, and they're waiting for the demise of AEW. They're waiting for the demise of Tony Khan. But people like me who really do care, who's coming on here and hoping for the best, we still hoping for the best. And I don't know how much longer it's going to take. So guys, bear with me. I just don't know how much longer I can do with the reviews, but I'm still going to go to the pay-per-view and enjoy myself. Now, let's talk about what happened on this show. I'm just going to briefly tell you who won, who lost, but I'm going to go into a little bit more details about what's going on with Athena and Billy Starks. So like I said earlier, Athena did start off the show with her minions, and she called out Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston, of all people, who was saying stuff about the champions and Ring of Honor not being real champions, not holding their weight in Ring of Honor. Athena addressed it, and she was like, how she would give Eddie Kingston a back fist. And I was like, she means business. Like, she really mean that. Like, she would literally get her hands on him. And I'm not gonna lie, her saying that her back is hurting from carrying Ring of Honor is 100% true. She has been carrying this company, well, this promotion, since she's been champion. And she's what's making it really, really interesting. Now, after that, we got Eddie Kingston versus Lee Johnson. I already told you the match is ass. Don't watch it. After that, we had the Infantry versus the Boys. And the Boys are super talented. The Infantry, super talented. But the Boys has only won one tag team match this entire year. And I've seen them in some really good matches. You're not using these boys to the fullest potential for the things that I've seen them do. You want to have them come out and make a fool out of themselves? Sure, they do the little comedy thing, the little peacock stuff. It's cute, whatever. But these guys know how to wrestle. Put them in fucking matches that matter. The Boys lost. Surprise, surprise. We still have that little storyline with Rachel Ellering, Layla Hirsch, and Maria. Maria had a talk with the Renegades behind Layla Hirsch's back. Layla is wondering what's going on with that. And Maria's like, you know what? I'm just talking to them. I'm just introducing to them who I am. Maria, everybody know who you are. You're not introducing them to no one. Anyway, I don't care about the storyline. After that, we had Emi Sakura versus Trish Adora. The match was okay. I like both of these girls. And Emi always loses on AEW, but always wins on Ring of Honor. I hate this inconsistency shit, but Emi is awesome. Trish is awesome. This match, decent. Emi takes the win. Up next, we had Layla Hirsch versus Heather Reckless. Layla won this. We had Rachel and Maria, who were ringside. And the story, they're trying to tell a story, but it's not interesting. So, it is what it is. But I was a little shook to see Heather and Layla in the ring, and they're literally looking eye to eye. And I'm like, holy shit, Layla's actually going against someone who's the same height as her. I don't know why that shook me, but it is what it is. And even Layla was just looking at her eye to eye, and I'm like, you probably never done that. You probably never had a match with someone that you looked at eye to eye. It is what it is. I really love Layla. She had an amazing match. One of my favorite women's matches this year with Athena. I was so shocked and surprised with how well they did, because sometimes I feel like they hold these girls back. And Layla was absolutely amazing in that ring. I can't remember what episode it was. Google it and y'all end up finding out what episode it was. Absolutely recommend that match. But this, not so much. Now, we did have Willie Mack up next, and I can't remember who it was he was against. Willie ends up winning, and I kind of just didn't really care about this one either. There is no stories. This is the thing that kind of drive you crazy, because you just feel like, I don't know what the hell I'm sitting through. Now, I'll give you a story. Billie Starkz versus Marina Shafir. Obviously, last week, we had Athena and Billie team up against Ronda and Marina. Ronda's team won. Athena said, bitch, go out there and make this shit right and go win that match against Marina. She goes out there and have a match with Marina. There were some things in here that I really, really liked when it came to Marina. And I was like, oh, I see you switching things up a little bit. You in that match with your bestie last week has probably motivated you to change a little bit of your style in the ring. I noticed that. However, Billie Starkz, I'm rooting for her so fucking much, because I love the story that she's in, and she's young and she's out there and she's trying her best. But this match was so bad. Billie, time after time in this match, she messed up a lot, okay? And I felt like this match was a turning point for her, and I'm gonna get to it in a second. This was a huge turning point for Billie Starkz as a character, as a wrestler. After this match, and I was just like, when you think about it in a whole, then I was like, damn man, things should have gotten way better than it did. And she's trying to be a little bit more gritty. She's trying to show Athena that she is not a porcelain hussy, that she can be just as tough as Athena. And every time she has to tap into that mindset, I see that she does as well in the ring as when she's not in that mindset. And part of me as a viewer looks at it like she's probably not ready, you know, and I kind of feel bad for thinking that, but it's the truth. Now, after several mistakes in this ring, and obviously the match has to keep going, they literally could have cut this shit out of the show and it would have been fine. However, there's a story to tell. Now, after this match, obviously Billie wins, and after she wins, she attacks Marina. And then here comes Athena and Lexi. Lexi is wearing a cap and gown for like a graduation, and Athena is all coming down to the ring all happy and everything, and she has a cap and gown for Billie Starkz as well. Now Billie's excited. She's like, oh my god, I'm gonna graduate from MIT. I'm finally going to, be on Athena's level, blah blah blah. And that's not what happens. What ends up happening is it's actually Lexi who graduates. Not only does she graduates, but she's in top honors, and she gets her own little diploma that Athena signed, and Lexi's giving her speech, and Billie Starkz is in the background crying, boohoo crying. It's actually kind of funny. And after that match, I was like, no, if she just did so much better in that match, this would have been such a big moment. But she's in the background crying, and Lexi have her little acceptance speech. The crowd is booing the fuck out of Lexi, and I'm just like, damn, what did Lexi ever do to y'all? Lexi just asks questions every week. She doesn't do anything. Now, after her speech, they're leaving, and then Billie, she pulls aside Athena, and she's like, where's my fucking diploma? Like, what's going on? And Athena is basically blowing her off. She's trying to walk away, and here's Billie grabbing Athena again, and then Athena's like, bitch, who the fuck are you grabbing on? And Billie is saying something we can't hear, obviously, because the mic is not in their hands, but then Athena's yelling at her to get out of the ring. They go into the back. So she gets out the ring, and her and Athena are walking on the ramp, and Billie just launched Athena onto the barricade, and everybody's cheering. She takes off the cap and gown. She's upset. She's yelling. And I'm just like, oh, snap. But then Athena is laughing. She's laughing because she's finally seeing the Billie Starkz that she wants to see. Now, to make matters even more crazy, we have Lexi, who's backstage with Tony Khan. Tony Khan talking about nothing of importance as usual. And here comes Billie Starkz. going to interrupt Tony and says, hey, you the head honcho up in here. You make things happen. Why didn't I not graduate from minion in training? And Tony's like, I don't even know nothing about this minion in training thing. You know what? Tony's clueless, whatever. And she goes, well, you know what? Why don't you put your little powers to work here and give me a match with Athena at Final Battle pay-per-view? And Tony makes it official. We're going to get Billie Starkz and Athena at the pay-per-view. And I'm just like, I kind of wish this happened a little bit differently, but I'm going to take it because I knew this is where this was going this whole entire time, that it was always going to end with Billie and Athena. I wish there was a little bit more going into this, but this is literally the only storyline worth watching in Ring of Honor. And to be honest, I know I said Billie made some mistakes, some big mistakes tonight, but my hats go off to her. She's 18 years old and she's doing the best she possibly can. And she's part of the best storyline in that whole promotion. So I'm rooting for her. I'm rooting for her against Athena. And I know we're going to see something great. So I'm just hoping that she doesn't have an off night like how she had earlier tonight. Now, other than that, you know, it is what it is. After that, we had Evil Uno versus Dalton Castle. Dalton Castle wins. I'm not really invested into this bullshit. It's just like, I just don't really know what's going on. It's just not fun. After that, we have Brandon Cutler and Colt Cabana versus God knows who. I can't even remember. I'm not even gonna waste my breath. I'm not. We had Commander versus Gringo Loco. Commander and Gringo Loco. Very good. Very good match. These two guys have really great chemistry. And it's just like, I always see it this way. You want to see some really good wrestling, leave it up to the luchadors to just blow your fucking mind away if the rest of the show sucks. It is what it is. Commander ends up winning that match. No surprise there. We also had Preston and Jalisco versus Angelico and Serpentico. LFI wins, but I have to make an observation here. Preston needs to really step it up to feel like he fits in with LFI. Right now, I just feel like, yeah, he's in the group. It's more like, my mom said, let him play with us. It just feels like that, So part of me is like, he needs to step it up. I think he's doing great. Oh my God, he looks great too. But he needs to really fit in with Roosh and Jalisco. So he needs to do so much more work when it comes to his character. I'm not necessarily seeing what he does in the ring. I'm just saying like his character really needs to feel like he fits in with those guys. After that, we had Nyla Rose, who's her first time coming on Ring of Honor versus Zoe Lynn. Obviously, Nyla ends up winning that. We had the Butcher and the Blade, who are still in the company. Everybody's been wondering if they've been out or not. They're still there, and I did check the website just to make sure they are still employed, you guys. They're still making some money with AEW. They went against the Iron Savages, and Butcher and the Blade wins. When was the last time we seen the Butcher and the Blade win something? Maybe years ago, and that really surprised me. But this match was actually great. I do enjoy both of these teams, and I want to see more from them both. Like I said, Butcher and the Blade wins. Main event, we had Brian Cage versus Action Andretti. This was a good match, but I felt like we could have had a little bit more energy for the main event. Something you want to leave people with, feeling a little bit hyped, feeling like you watched a good show. And by the end of the show, I was like, I literally could have skipped this whole show, and I would have really missed a really important thing when it came to Athena and Billie Starkz. That's the only thing that was really worth it. Gringo Loco, Commander, another match, worth it. Everything else was very skippable. I really want to see Ring of Honor successful. And I'm saying at this rate, they might just have like maybe another year or two tops before Ring of Honor is no more. Just like the same thing with AEW Dark and Elevation. I feel like we're probably going to be on the road to that. If they want to do better, Tony Khan is going to have to sit his ass down, especially after WWE got CM Punk, and just wonder who else are they going to get if we don't get our shit together. You know what I mean? And like I said, people like me who's sitting at home, who don't mind making extra money, give me a call, Tony Khan, because I know I've heard that you've been reaching out to people on YouTube about advice for AEW. You've been calling the wrong people. Email me, call me, something, whatever. All my info is on my channel. Get one of your people to get with my people. I don't have no people. It's just me. Call me up, Tony, if you really really want a fan's advice, I can help you out. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I will be back tomorrow with Rampage. Bye.